Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tanya Love Show, and Happy New Year. It is 2016 now, so that's pretty awesome. Where we're living in Vancouver, Washington, we woke up to snow everywhere, so that was kind of a beautiful little miracle. And as I look out my window, it's all snow covered out there and winter wonderland, so kind of cool. On another note, I and my family have been just moving through this situation with lots of inner reflection. I've been kind of bedridden for the last week and just in a lot of space. I've embodied the space of stillness and really done a lot of processing that I'm going to actually talk about today. And woke up in the middle of the night, my daughter throwing up and had a fever and was crying, and night where I was up coughing all night so much that I actually pulled a muscle in my neck. And so one of those days of just like having these human experiences. And I was checking the forecast with my beloved, and there has been a lot of solar flares and things going on. And I posted a thing on Facebook today that just kind of talks about how when we're in this intense time of more increased light frequencies coming into the planet, aka solar flares, it can actually affect us in a very physical way. Some of us can have symptoms as feeling very sick, mental confusion, where we can actually feel that we really want to pull inward and what I call go into my cocoon. And it can actually disrupt our sleep and cause a lot of shifts in our vibrational frequencies. So those of you that are going through this, do your best to stay centered in a place of presence and just allow and surrender to the energy and let it move through you, rather than going into a state of resistance where we go into fear. We start thinking, oh God, am I dying? Am I sick? What's wrong with me? And we start going into that dialogue, which either way, if you go there, it'll still assist you with what you need to remember. But I'm just here to remind you all that we can choose to go higher and to not go into fear, but to choose to go into a deeper state of love, an even deeper space of surrender and stillness. And for me this week, it has been very interesting because having all this quiet time, I usually spend most of my time in a lot of quiet time in meditation anyways, being, right before I see a healing client, I'm meditating. After a client leaves, I'm in meditation. I teach meditation. So I embody meditation a lot anyways, but this week was very, very quiet and very much pulling inward my energy resources. And it was a really enlightening week for Tanya Love. And the reason I'm going to share and I say these things from my own personal journey of discovery and understanding what it is I need to see. And then I say it with the hopes that it will ignite that same passion and that same courage in each of you to go inward and not to be afraid to see and not to be afraid to release and let go in ways that maybe we've never been comfortable to let go before. But this week has been very eye-opening for me and some levels, being an empathic, sensitive soul that I am and very much being a nurturer. I have always had this innate ability to tune into the needs of others and to read their energy and to be able to help them and help them connect the dots and help them to heal. And that's just something that's just natural in me. However, I've also discovered that there's times where being in that state of empathic sensitivity, I can pick up on others' frequencies, and sometimes they can be disruptive to myself. And we've talked about this a lot on the show. And in that case, it cannot be the best for Tanya Love. And so as empaths, how do we get into this place where last week we were talking about empathic balance? Like, how do we get to that place where we all can really walk in that middle way and we are in a state of balance in a way that looks out for the needs of ourselves as well as others? And when I was in this week of quiet, I really had a lot of time to reflect and observe how many of the humans that I was there for and that I'm always there for, and I'm helping them and I'm giving them advice, I'm helping them out of predicaments, and I'm doing all this stuff to help. And how when I was in a space of needing, some love and nurturing, there was very few who were even tuning into that. And it can be very eye-opening. And if we don't go into victimization with it, we don't feel like poor me with it, we can really just see clearly that there are souls that come around only when they're here to get something from us. And there are souls that actually really also care about us and our well-being. And what was so enlightening for me was to really see that with truth and not to be judgmental, not to go into, like I said, any kind of victimization with it, or poor me energy with it, but just to see, to have the courage to see. And in seeing, we can have this amazing opportunity for liberation and freedom from any old patterns. And so for me, when I'm looking inward and I'm like, okay, what is this? What is this energy? I really want to process it so I can live more truthful and authentically to me and live more in alignment of my highest self. And this week of being on my back, laying in meditation, in stillness, not feeling my best, really took me out of a place of doing where I was not able to do for others. I was not able to give to others in a doing sort of way. And it helped me to really shake off any sense of my worth and my value was connected to doing for others. And that can be pretty eye-opening for a healer because, you know, our highest joy, I love and am so fulfilled by helping others come into their alignment and feel good about themselves and heal. But when it's coming from a place of equal giving and giving and sharing, like we're giving and receiving, it feels like what I call a win-win. And win-win situations feel good and harmonious on both sides. When it comes from a place where one is giving and giving and giving, the other's taking, it will not empower either soul. And so the one giving too much will continue to feel like their giving is just falling on, you know, in an energy where it's not really being beneficial, let's say, and where it's also not benefiting them. And then the one taking will also start to feel the disruption and the imbalance, and they'll start to kind of create their own situations based on overtaking. And so what I processed was that in this new year, we all, you know, we talk about resolutions and things we're going to do. There's like, I want to lose weight, I'm going to join the gym, I'm going to give up alcohol, I'm going to give up cigarettes, I'm going to, you know, whatever. We have all these different resolutions that we give to ourselves each year, and they can all be great, and they can be amazing if we really align and follow through with them, and they can be very enslaving if they're just new things that we talk about and that we really don't, you know, follow through on, and that can start to actually cause us to feel even worse about ourselves. And so when I processed in this last week, what is it that I wish to have as a resolution? And it's not just like a New Year's resolution, but for me, every moment, every day is a new earth day, a new earth moment of reality, of living in such a way that we are free of enslavement and that we live with liberation and truth. And for me, as I processed it, it was, and as much as you guys see me speaking my truth on this show, I do a great job with it. But there are times we all go through where we're biting our tongue with that loved one, and we're just, I'm not going to say anything to that, you know, roommate or that sister or that husband or that boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the situation may be, our boss, and we hold back our truth because we're at some level, we're afraid to completely be authentic. Because I feel, when I process it in myself, when I'm nervous to speak my absolute truth to someone that's, let's say, very much being rude and hateful and judgmental, and instead of me boldly saying something about it, I just bite my tongue and I hold back. At one level, we could say it's because we're compassionate, we're patient. And I've told myself this at times. And at another level, when I get to be really honest with myself, it's because at some level I am afraid to speak that truth. And at some level, the fear comes down to, I feel, a feeling of being rejected and not being accepted. And so if we each, like if I can, my intention always on this show is to mirror to all of you that I am also moving through human moments in my evolution, my ascension process. And every moment I'm getting more and more, you know, truthful, more and more authentic. And that is my intention. And then it's also to reflect that and mirror that back to all of you watching, that this takes great courage and it takes a lot of awareness, a lot of paying attention, because if we start to just get complacent and we start to just slip to the side with the feelings that we have, and we hold and harbor anger and we hold in our feelings, we don't express them, it starts to really build up. And I feel like part of my coughing, I was really tuning into that, just like I would tell a client to, what is this energy? And I'm coughing so violently and I can't hardly catch my breath and it's hurting my throat. And when I was going through that and I'm meditating about it, I realized there's a lot of stuff that hurts my heart that I hold back from humans, because I am compassionate, I am patient, but there's this process of how patient and compassionate does one need to be with truth, and when is it the time to actually express the truth to help in the highest way? And this morning, it was interesting, I had these very prophetic and vivid dreams last night with my roommates, and I was giving them advice, and we were having these soul conversations in our dreams. And then my beloved was telling me about a dream he had, and as he's talking about the dream, I just start connecting the dots on it, and I was like, I feel like what your dream is saying is that you are at some level afraid of success. You're afraid to take flight. You're afraid to soar. You're afraid to become everything you were meant to be. That's what I'm getting from it. And then I just kind of let it go, and I moved on, and we went and took a shower. And later he came down and he was talking to me, and he was, he said, well, let me backtrack. So I spoke that truth to him about the dreams, and then observing his dream, intuitively feeling it. I don't really analyze it. It's more of a feeling of intuition. And then I go on to Facebook and I express my truth in a situation that happened today, where many of you know my beloved and I had planned to offer a twin flame workshop today. And like I said, went to sleep, barking, coughing, not very deep sleep, exhausted, wake up in the middle of the night with a daughter throwing up and has a fever and is crying. And I'm just like, what is this? It was not an amazing experience, but this is what we're dealing with. Okay, Spirit, help us move through this situation. Help us move through this with the greatest love, honor, and reverence. So my daughter comes and lays in the bedroom with us, and I'm like, baby, just relax. We'll clean the floor later. We're just going to go to bed. Let's go back to sleep. And immediately I get on my phone and I go and I decide in that moment, this is not a time to have people coming to our home to do a workshop, because obviously our family is not completely in health and wellness yet, and we're working on that, and we will get there. But at this moment in time, we're still not there. And so I went and I put a post to the people that said they wanted to come and just explain from the heart that this wasn't going to be the best time, and that I apologized, but I was going to have to reschedule because the family, was sick, and we would have to find a new date. Well, some of the clients were very loving and compassionate. We're like, you know what, Tanya, it's all good, and I hope your family feels better. I'm sending love to you and your daughter, and I look forward to doing the workshop at the right time. They understand, these souls have processed and understand that there is indeed a divine time for everything, and that they honor the now when the now shows them that this is not going to happen, even though we had an idea and a plan and we had this intention to do something. The doing that thing is not going to happen today. And so those souls, I love you so much, because you're really embodying your divinity. You're really moving in this new earth reality that I am here to co-create and experience with others, which is one of win-win situations, one of honor and reverence, where we honor the now, we honor each other. We don't try to project any kind of anger at a healer if she can't give to us because she's needing to heal herself. We honor that, and we see that she is actually in alignment in loving herself and showing us that. But the old paradigm was not like that. The old paradigm was like, I paid my money, I rearranged my schedule for this workshop, and you owe me, and if you can't do it, then I'm going to have to go somewhere else. And there's no reverence, there's no honor, there's no kindness or compassion shared. And I say this because some of the clients wrote back with very much, the understanding of honor, of the flow, and kindness and compassion. And then at the other hand, some wrote to me that were very much in a me, egoic energy, which was all about their needs, what they should have gotten, and how I shouldn't be rescheduling, and they've never worked with me, and that now they don't know if they trust me, and all this bullshit.